Hey, welcome back to the Blue Collar Off-Road Podcast, episode 226. I'm Graham. I'm here with Cody and
That's
everyone else. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
It's just me. Hi, guys.
It's just us. We're the stragglers who aren't going to the meet and beat because we are being responsible adults and we just wanted to be here for the podcast for everyone. We just want to be hanging for a week. You know, we've done that a few times before, and we always feel really bad. So me and Cody are taking one for the team, so we can talk to you guys about things.
You know the best part about that is now it's their fault. Now the listeners get to feel bad, and we're not there because of you. Yeah, you. All right, it's not our fault.
If we didn't have to do this every week, then we'd be at the meet and beat.
Mm-hmm. I hope you feel bad, but also happy that you're going to get an episode. Granted, it's not going to be the long, exaggerated episode that you normally. It might be. You're right.
We might. Luke, on a plus side, Luke isn't going to be able to talk about his four-link or about how he's going to cut the nose off his Jeep a second time.
Fuel pressure issues. He can't talk about that.
True. I'm sure you're going to get the brunt of them next week or whenever the fuck they get back from their podcast. Or their podcast, their trip. Once they get back from their podcast,
we just gotta pray that he doesn't have any fuel pressure issues. Like that's the biggest thing is we got to make sure.
No, it's more than that. The Jeep can't have any problems.
You're right.
If it has a single problem that he doesn't anticipate and isn't funny, we're gonna hear about it.
5 times at a minimum in the one episode.
Five times per episode for the next month.
So you guys better be praying too. You all better be praying. Otherwise, we're gonna be stuck listening to that. Now,
if you want to keep a tally, and then hit me up next month if Luke does complain for the next. We'll say 5 episodes. So if after the meet and beat, the first episode Luke gets back from the meet and beat, he complains about the same thing about his Jeep from the meet and beat 5 times, not 5 times per episode, but just once per episode for 5 episodes straight, and it's the same thing, or basically the same thing. I don't know. I'll give you a gold star or something. I'm curious to see if people would keep track of that.
I'm sure some can.
It probably won't be difficult, unfortunately, sadly. But we love him. He gets us guests to talk with.
He does do that.
And they are pretty cool.
I will say, I give him a lot of props on that end because that's definitely something that I don't give him enough credit for. Is the ratio of guests to episode compared to other Luke, Graham, me, Richie. I think I've brought 5 in total, and then the rest have just been Luke alone. Maybe I don't know.
Occasionally, I recommend we have someone, but new guests, new people, is almost always Luke. Luke's always the one getting people either referring people to him to talk with, or he just reaches out or something like that. So yeah, if we have a bomb ass guest on, it's usually Luke who did the work for that. So it's definitely it's a lot of effort, I feel like, to just be doing that every week for as long as we've been doing it. That's a lot. That's a lot.
So I do gotta say, we gotta give him his flowers where it's necessary. It's pretty. The guy does a good job, even though he talks about his broken shit.
Yeah, let him talk about his broken Jeep. He brings in entertainment and cool people.
What?
Sorry, I'm chewing on a fucking. Give me one second.
Have you ever seen the Formula? I forgot the exact name of it is. You ever seen those tractors? Those fucking nasty high horsepower tractors that they do the poles with? No.
What do you mean?
Okay, so I forget the name of it. Top fuel tractors or top fuel drags, or I don't know, not drags. No. Pretty much they're dude, they take these crazy ass contraptions where they'll have 8 engines on the front and do truck pulls. But with
these 8 engines on the front.
Bro, hold on, I'll send you a photo. Give me 1 second. But yeah, these things are absolutely insane. Tractor poles. Hold on, I gotta get you this video, dude. These things are fucking nuts, and I'm so curious at like who's the dickhead that was like, oh yeah, let's do this. Let's just put 6 engines sideways onto a frame and run these things wide open on. I just it blows my mind, but I'm curious, like, where the fuck do they do these around here? I want to go to one.
What do you mean sideways?
Look at the video I sent in admin. Look at it. Look at this shit. So to give you an example, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, pretty much it's like a rail.
Oh my! What do you do to So it's funny because I was literally talking not about this, but it was brought up this exact thing today.
Yes. And it's crazy because they're probably 60-inch tires. I don't know. They're massive, but then they literally this guy exactly in this video has 4 blown big blocks sideways on the frame going to one singular powertrain, and then just like what he's sitting on top of the differential. I'm assuming. Like how the fuck? Who did this? You know what I mean? Like what? So yeah, this is what I was referencing.
It's like how can we make drag racing more complicated and like 4 times as expensive? Let's just build 4 engines and bolt them to the axle. Let's just do that. That sounds fine. Cool.
So, oh my god. So if you look, actually, if you go to 125, it shows how it kind of works. So I'm guessing the rear output goes to the fucking... Hold on. It goes to the harmonic balancer?
Well, so this guy is... No, not the harmonic. What do you mean? Oh, from the front to the back?
Yeah, like how the fuck does it...
Yeah, you just bolt the cranks. You bolt the cranks together.
What the fuck?
But it looks like there's some other, like, structure in there to hold them all together, or there's something going on. Because the biggest issue, I think, that you have with that is, it all has to be exactly the same. It needs to all react pretty much the same. Like, if you have too much tolerance between there, you're gonna have crankshaft issues, or whatever connects the 2 issues. I forget exactly. I think they did it on like an episode of Engine Masters, or something like that. They put 2 of them together to see like what the power gain would be, and like the way they did it was like with some like, it wasn't a loose coupling, it was a solid coupling between the 2, I think. But yeah, it's a fucking nightmare, I would think. Or it's like something that seems complicated that is actually way stupid easy, and everyone just thinks it's hard. You just need to have 2 of the same things. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of...
I want to go watch these.
Why are we talking about
I was just talking about like where do they have these? Like this one's in Indiana. Like I want to go to these. This is fucking sick. But then we probably couldn't go because then the podcast wouldn't happen. So like rip. Now we get to blame the viewers again. This is your fault. I can't go see cool tractors.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, these things are fucking rowdy, and I don't know, whoever came up with this is just a madman, and I'm happy they did. Wild.
Just put 4 engines together. That's the requirement.
But yeah, I mean, anyways, I just figured I would bring that up because it was something that crossed my mind that was just sick. Things that like wow, actually it's crazy how we went from lawn tractors last episode to now top fuel tractors on this episode.
Yeah, that's where I thought you were going when you were talking about little like tractors, but then you said that they had 4 engines. So then that's a little more than what I can fit in a lawn tractor.
I mean, you could try. I think it's gonna get interesting.
Or those little Predator motors all in a row. That would be a good one to test on. I don't know if those have like a front. No, they probably wouldn't. They probably just have a rear output. They don't need a front like balancer or anything.
It's only 1 cylinder. I would imagine they don't.
Then again, I mean, you could just put all 4 of them on one of these gear drive boxes, and like technically, it would be 4 times the power, something like that. but they'd all have to be in like a row or like connected to some craziness. So
Yeah, that's too much math for me.
it's a lot of like a lot of broken gears. I feel like
Yeah, just
before you get
trial and
that
error.
right. Yeah, just
Well, just think if you put 4 Predator engines together, you're almost to a 4-liter. So that's not bad.
what are they, like 1 liter each?
No, but I mean, like a 4-liter Jeep engine at almost 100 horsepower.
Oh, that'd
Obviously,
be
my
way,
math is wrong.
that'd be too much. That'd be too much for a little lawnmower, anyways.
Kind of sick though. I don't know. But either
But
way, what's been
yeah.
new with the old fucking second gen?
All right. Well, we're finally nearing the end of the light at the end of the tunnel with that. Me and RJ. RJ actually helped me with both like the big final pieces. I put the gears all on the main shaft and counter shaft, got that all sorted. Got those in the case. Got the shift rails on. The shift rails on that thing are a fucking. I didn't like take pictures or anything because I'm stupid and I don't do that, so I didn't really know where they went. I had to look up a picture to like kind of get a gist of it, and then it took me a minute to figure out where like all the gates for the shifters, like which side they went on. I had to kind of okay, that's for a second gear. That's usually like there because you can kind of see like the placement and how it reacts with the actual shifter. But the shifter is like 2 rails away from where the actual shift gate is, like in the transmission on the shift rails. So it's like kind of confusing to just jump back around. And when you have all these parts and you don't know which one even like to start with, it took a minute. There's like 7, 2, 3, I think 6 rails total, 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me a little bit to figure that out. It was probably like an hour to get them all like lined up right before I even felt like good to say, all right, now we can put everything like in the bell housing, because that's how you do the 5600 is all goes in the bell housing and then you put the shift rails on, and it's all too heavy to do by hand unless you're macho man. So you're doing it with an engine crane. So me and RJ juggled that around to get that all in, and then put the case on, and then got the reverse gear and all the top assembly sorted out. Sealed that all up. And then trying to think what else. Oh, day before that I got the transfer case sorted. I bought a bunch of used parts from this other dude who had a 41 DHD, or he said he did. And he had the parts I needed from one, but it wasn't a full case, so fortunately I wasn't looking for a full one, but he was selling it like it was a full one for $100, which like seemed fishy because they're all like 400 or more every time I've looked for ones that are like complete. So either way, I got the parts I needed from that, which works out. Cleaned everything up. I got a bearing and seal kit, so I really just needed like a couple hard parts, and he claims that the chain was pretty good and the sprocket all looked better than mine, so slapped that all in. So I at this point have all the gear components done, and I'm just trying to put everything in. I had a little bit of like prep work and shit I had to do. I didn't have the spacer for the starter in on the adapter for the engine like plate. And the manuals need a starter. They need a starter. They need a starter spacer. They need a starter spacer.
Oh, jeez.
That's just like how they are from the factory. But everybody on the internet, it's conflicting. Some people mention the starter spacer. To me, starter spacer sounds hack. So I didn't like immediately just jump the gun and get a starter spacer because that seems not right. But apparently it is. It's just an OEM thing. It came on the trucks and you put that thing on there. But people were saying you don't need one, or you need the special bell housing adapter. So it was like it kind of went back and forth. I don't know. I don't know if it's just an NV5600 thing or if it's an all manual Cummins transmissions of that era needed that or what. But fortunately, I had that all on my donor truck. I took the J20 on a nice long, like, sort of rip around Massachusetts to get all the things I needed, and the exhaust almost fell off, but other than that, it did pretty good.
No big deal.
Yeah,
Light work.
not a huge problem. I haven't fixed it. I just chained it up so it can't fall off. It's not too loud. It's definitely got an exhaust leak, but it's not like open headers. It's been worse. So
that's a plus.
Yeah. So I've got all these pieces together, and then yesterday we just got we finally got the transmission in the truck. I cut the hole. I had to cut the hole in the floor. I have a template for. I got the same dude who sold me the transfer case parts also sold me the chunk of floor that has the cutout for the shifter, because I saw it in this pile of junk, and I was like, "Can I have that?" He's like, "Yeah, you can have that. I don't need it." Because he took it out just for this little bracket, which I wanted to buy as well, but he was like, "No, I need that bracket." So I couldn't take the bracket, unfortunately. I am still missing that little tiny bracket. But I think I have it. I think I just didn't know what it was, and I threw it in the back of the bed of the donor truck, which is filled with scrap. So I'm gonna have to go through it if I want to find that. I think.
Oh boy!
But I took some pictures of the one he had. So worst case, I can either mock one up. It's literally just this stupid tab that holds a piece of the plastic for the cup holders down on one side. The other side is held down by another thing. So technically it'll be fine. You'll never know it's not there, but I'll know it's not there, and I'm gonna feel like a dumbass if I can't find one because I didn't know what the part was and I threw it out. Or it's just in the shop somewhere and I have no fucking clue. I don't know. A lot of parts haven't moved in a long time, and I've lost track of some stuff. So I might find it in the clean that's going to happen here soon, hopefully. But yeah, we got the transmission in. After I cut the hole in the floor, I put some final. I have a bunch of this fucking sound deadening shit, so I'm like just laying it anywhere that I think makes even like remote sense, which may or may not be a good idea. I don't know. We're gonna find out if it's too close to the exhaust. I don't think it's flammable, so we'll find out. If it is, I got a fire extinguisher.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing was a bitch to get in, though. We had the engine, we had the front of the truck jacked up because I'm doing this on flat ground. So to get the transmission under with the transmission jack, you have to pick the whole thing up to get the frame high enough so you can fit everything under, because it's just too tall of a bell housing. So it was jacked way up, and then we were trying to put the transmission in, line everything up, but you can't. The truck's at this angle. You have to put the engine angle down even more to clear the floor up until the last fucking second, because there's just a lot of shit that needs to clear, and it gets closer to the floor pan. It doesn't make any sense, but it gets closer to the floor pan the more you want it straight, which would be ideal for putting this thing in, because you need the engine and the transmission to be at the same level, and then you also need the floor to be at that level. So you really need everything flat if you want it to go in, and you've got an engine that weighs 300 plus pounds, and an engine that weighs 1,100 pounds, and a transmission that weighs more than 300 pounds dry, and trying to put these things together. It took an hour or so. We had the truck up, and we were tilting the engine and tilting the transmission on this crane, or on this jack, the transmission jack that we had, which is a pretty nice one. It's a Harbor Freight, but it's not it's the better of the two. I think they sell the heavier duty one. I'm definitely glad I had it, because if I would try to do that with not that, I would have been. If you've done that job with a floor jack, like some people have claimed that they've done, I don't know how you didn't die, because there's just no way. There's no way I could have gotten that thing stabbed in there without something strapped to this thing to keep it from moving. We had this ratchet strapped down to the base, and then even then it was got it kind of wedged in some spots so it can't move there. And my biggest fear was going to slide back and just crush my hand because I had to like manipulate this thing that's right underneath it all. Of course, it's puking hydraulic fluid out of the pump for the jack. Like
God.
RJ's like, "Oh, that's bad." And I was like, "It's not that much. If it would have dropped, if it was that bad." So yeah, it was just a typical like transmission swap, I guess. And, you know, that's always the most annoying part is trying to get them stabbed. It was the same thing with the J20. It just took forever because I had the same problem. I had to pick the frame up, so I had to hold the whole front end in the air. Tried that for a minute, a lot of minutes, didn't work. We ended up lowering the whole truck like to ground level, like take the jack stands out of the front and just lay it down, and then put the engine where it's supposed to be because the Cummins like sits forward. It doesn't sit back. I don't know. Depends on the engine, but sometimes they like tilt one way or the other. So this thing you have to tip it forward to like get it to point like in the normal location because otherwise there's no shot you're getting it mounted. And then we had it like basically in. And we might have had it a couple times, but it just was never quite like 100%. We never got the magical like clunk and then everything just slides together. It kind of like was there, and I was like, "That's it," because I can't turn the output shaft. We had it in 6th gear, so you could turn that and like make the input shaft move a little bit. And it was like it got stuck, like it was turning, and then I like pushed, gave it like a pressure, and turned it, and it stopped moving, and I was like, "Okay, like that's in." That is there. It's like right on the edge. And then I just kicked it, and RJ's like, "Oh, that was it." But it wasn't like very much. It didn't move that much.
You just had a magic kick, and it was just enough.
Oh no! I mean, that got it in like a little bit, and then it was just a lot of more pressure and kicking the back of it to like kind of just wiggle it in, and it did eventually go all the way. And it's it's happy. It all works. So now I have to finish all the boring stuff that I started, and now have to finish so I can drive it, and I have to put the transfer case on. And
are you doing any work to that, or are you just gonna just kind of
transfer case?
Steal it, or no, I was just curious if you were just doing.
I mean, I basically rebuilt it because I broke my I couldn't use it without changing the input shaft on the original transfer case, and B, it was fused to the old transmission, so I broke it trying to take it off. Like the housing broke, trying to come off the transmission because it'd never been apart. So yeah, rebuilt my ass. So yeah, no, that couldn't happen. I took some good parts out of it, and then bought the parts I talked about, and I rebuilt that one. It's the original case. Some of the original components, a lot of them have been swapped out. But obviously, like I need the main shaft from the transmission I have, or transfer case I have, because I need the output to be the same as the drive shaft that I have for it. With the higher spline count and just some other stuff. Like there's some goofy little like drivetrain things I still need to make sure I have good. But I just used whatever parts came off the donor as like the final parts that went in a case, or the parts that were not fucked that are equivalent, essentially. So should be good. I had to get a yoke. I'm still waiting on the yoke for the rear because that broke two of the like the little strap bolts that hold it on. I had to cut them. They just weren't moving, and then they stripped, and it's like,
oh Jesus.
At that point in time, I was like, well, I can deal with this now or later, and I chose to deal with it later. I just cut them, and it's been in the back of my mind, but now that it's like right there.
So now it's future Graham's turn to deal with it.
Now it's future Graham's turn to fix the problem. So yeah, I'm probably gonna put a new yoke in. It's not like crush sleeve or anything in there. It's just torque to yield. So, that should be relatively simple. Drive shaft stuff. The rear I think will work without any problems. I have the rear from the donor, which is the same exact truck as mine, and I think I only need the intermediate shaft before the center bearing on the, what do you call that? It's not a center bearing.
Like a carrier bearing?
Carrier bearing, that's the name. I don't know why I was blanking on that.
It's all good. I was trying to figure out what you were saying.
Yeah, so I think I just need that chunk because the transmission's a little longer, so I just need a shorter section to the center bearing, which is in the same spot as my other trucks. And assuming the outputs are the same, like I shouldn't have any problem connecting those. And then I can keep the other one for if I ever do the swap with the Dana 80 that I have, which I would like to do at some point, but not now. Not right now. And then front drive shaft, I'm not in like an immediate need to have it. Obviously, I would like to have it, but
just plan for it. Come on, don't put yourself short on it.
I'm gonna get one. Don't worry, or I'm gonna get mine retubed or something. I just don't know if it's gonna need to be longer, I assume. So I probably can't use the one that it has right now. And I didn't get one off the donor; it was out of it when I bought it. So I'll have to measure it once it's all together, and then either pay for one or have somebody make one or do something, or I can just make one. But that sounds like an awful idea because every drive shaft I make is trash. So, I mean, I could use like real boy parts, but that's no fun. You have a pile of dead ones. Why would I use a new one? But yeah, that's where I'm at with that. It should be really soon, which is like a little sad because had I had everything like a little sooner, then there's maybe a chance I could have gotten to the meet and beat, but probably not. Yeah, probably not.
But the podcast, Graham, come on, man!
I had to be here for the podcast. Yeah, so that's the long-winded status update on the Dodge. I pulled a spring out of the bench on the J20 today. It was just like floating in there. It was like 3 coils. Trying to think what else is going on J20 wise. I've got so many plans for that stupid thing, but I fucking hate it right now. Biggest thing that needs to change is the goddamn seat. If nothing else has to change, it needs a new seat. Driver seat. I will cut that bench in half. The passenger can have the other thing, and I'll get a new seat or something. I don't know. But I'm tired of like sitting in the bench, not on the bench, in the bench.
Oh, for the J truck? Sorry, I was thinking my brain was still on Cummins, and I just blanked on it. So okay, so then what's your plan? You thinking of going like single seat, or like what's your thoughts?
I don't know. I was thinking about. I've been sort of back and forth because I've had like purist people tell me, like my dad, who's like, "Oh, no, you got to keep it as the bench seat," and people told me to keep it as the bench seat because it's like cool an '80s truck. But then at the same time, it's like there's nothing cool about an '80s bench seat. They're uncomfortable. They're not. They're just not it. I don't know. I'll much rather have like a center console that I could like put a cup in or a can in, or like put stuff in versus a broken ass bench, or even a not broken bench that I have to like just put my drinks on, or like anything. Like there's just no place to put shit. That's the other thing. Is it like I've got so much shit piled in the passenger floor well right now. Like it needs some storage. I gotta clean up a bunch of other shit. Like, it's got a laundry list of things that I would love to be a daily. It needs a lot. I've been struggle bussing with it. It's been quite the I don't even know, ordeal, I guess. But I don't know. It's low on my list. I've worked on it enough. I've worked on the Dodge enough. I'm going to work on Broncos, and then a YJ, and then I'm going to work on my Jeep. I don't know what I'm going to do to my Jeep. Probably not much, because if I cut anything up crazy, I'm going to be working on that for a year. And I don't want to do that. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just going to be like just a little freshen up, maybe.
So... can we dive a little bit into the Bronco? Like, I'm just curious on kind of your mindset, right? So, like, he's just looking to do a cage that he's like very confident about, right? Now, what are you gonna go to for your supports? You're gonna do the A's to the sliders like you would do with like a Cherokee? Like, what's kind of your thought process going into that?
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about it, and I'll have more. Like, I don't know. I have an idea on what I'm thinking in my head, but I don't really work like that when I'm doing tube work. I have to have the thing in front of me, and there's a lot of like, just I'm sure anybody who's done a project like this knows, like, you just kind of stare at something. Like, you don't really know what you're gonna do until you look at it and like figure out what would look good, and then you do some test bends or some other stuff, or you have like some references of stuff you've done in the past or what stuff other people have done, and you know what looks good in your mind and what doesn't, and then you sort of combine that with what you're looking at right now, and then you just make a decision, and then that's where you go. And then you look at it after you do a couple bends and you have a couple tubes, and then you're like, well, it'd look good with a tube there, and it like follows the body and all this other stuff. But it's sort of just, you sort of just play it by ear. Like, you can't there's no really good way to prepare for that unless you're, a really good artist or a visualizer and you can like sketch something out, right? I don't, even then, I mean, you don't have the 3D, you don't have the 3D like perspective to like look at it from different angles and be like, okay. And like even like 3D CAD doesn't.
Yeah, the bodies aren't perfectly straight. They're not to what the stock vehicle was.
No, especially not this Bronco, not Ryan's Bronco. So
she's been through the ringer a time or two.
Yeah, I don't think she's square anymore. Square as she looks on the outside. So I mean, really, it's gonna just be, following what a combination of what I think will look good, what he thinks will look good, what we know works. Also trying to not go overboard on tubing and make it anything crazy. But the gist of it for the front, like you were saying with the A-pillar, is to do it similar to a Cherokee, where you kind of take the A-pillar up from rock slider or equivalent, and just follow the A-pillar, original A-pillar, and go up. And then I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet, but I'm thinking I want to do a swooping A, like down towards the back. I don't think a halo would look good on it.
Because
it's a Bronco, like it's a truck. Like you can go up
do the whole
and
thing.
then go back and do like an engine, or not an engine, like a rear, like bed cage or something. And I think he wants some cage work back there. I don't know if somebody keeps talking to me about Sean's. They like how Sean's looks, and how some of the tube work in Sean's is. And I agree. Like, there's some really good tube work in that buggy, or interesting tube work. That's just like unique stuff that I hadn't really seen before. That's really good influence for, something kind of like Ryan's Bronco. So we may take some influence from that. But yeah, I think it's internal B. I think if he wants an external B, we're gonna have to talk about that. That's a big vertical tube on the outside, but I think we did talk about that, and I don't know if we do that, there's gonna have to be other tubes on the outside to like keep that from becoming a rock hugger. So we'll see.
Oh, that'd be so sick though.
Yeah,
having the A to B. It'd be so sick.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's like the gist of, like, that's really all I can say about that, because it's sort of get it in, look at it. How's it gonna work? What's gonna look good with tube work? Or where's tube gonna look good? Make it tight to the body. And just an upgrade from his previous cage, which he was, now that he's got the sticky Mickeys on there and he's like doing all this stuff, like he doesn't want to like roll it over and crunch the Bronco. So
no, that's fair. I mean, now he can actually get to the spots where he might roll it over.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, I'm stoked. So your plan is to like fully cut out the old cage, right?
I believe it already is cut out.
Holy shit!
It is, as I'm sure as soon as Ryan listens to this, he'll talk to you about it. But I'm pretty sure it's like ready to go. It's just waiting, like with the part stripped off. I'm just doing the tube work. So I mean, just a quick quick tube work.
So you're just tube work, tack, and then he's bringing it.
No, I'll weld it and everything too. But yeah, he's gonna do all like I think he's gonna do the body work. If he wants me to cut like the fenders and like get the tubes to fit in there, right? Like I'd happily do that or help him do that. Because it is a pain in the ass. To do well. Even I don't know. I'm almost too impatient for it, but I'd have some patience for Ryan's Bronco. I think he has like holes in the roof already from like the old B, so like there's certain things that just don't. Maybe not in the roof, but somewhere there's holes for the old cage that we could use, or we can cut more holes. I think he said. So yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be cool. I think it's gonna make the thing look a lot less raggedy. At least for a while until it gets beat up. But yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm so excited to not be doing like general like bolt parts to thing work. I want to do some like fabrication, but not like I don't want to do no sheet metal. I'm not doing sheet metal. I'm done with sheet metal for a long time. And like I don't know, I just don't want to do any like long form projects. Like I don't know, everybody's ragged at me about the 4-link and shit on the Cherokee, or that I should do one. But it's like I don't want to. To do that right involves me changing so many things. I almost said fix.
Well,
changing a lot of things. Like I'm gonna need a lot of stuff in the back to break. Before I'm like, yeah, it makes more sense to do a 4-link than to replace this $300 leaf spring that lasts 2 years. Like, or change out my entire fuel system, which is OEM and hasn't given me a single fuel pressure issue.
Wait, why not do? I mean, you could kind of copy what what Marvell did. I think what Marvell did could be pretty beneficial. The only issue is maybe with like full bump, you might have an issue, but having it so it goes up past.
RJ's got that too now.
Oh, he does? I didn't know if he fully copied that style, but
I don't know if it's the same, but me and RJ did his very similarly. I think we still have to build a box over it, or he's going to build a box over it, but yeah, his is like tucked up there in between the frame rails as well. I don't know. Mine's rudimentary, but there's nothing back there. Like I'm not putting shit back there. Nothing I care about, at least. It's like junky junk. Mm-hmm. Stuff that if it accidentally fell out and like was swallowed into a mud hole, like
it doesn't matter.
I don't care. Yeah. It's oops. Yeah, and then I could just see that could just spiral so fast. I mean, to do a fuel system right, you're talking at least $1,500. Like,
yeah,
none of this like moto built fuel cell or whatever it is. That's $300, and that's all you do when you bolt the factory pump in. That's fucking hack.
Clearly, it doesn't work all that well.
It is no less hack, I should say, than just keeping your factory fuel tank. That was good.
Agreed. It's the exact same thing.
It's the same thing. Except you lose fuel capacity. You get it in a convenient box you can bolt to the floor, but you can bolt the factory tank to the floor for a lot less money, and it's a better system because it's designed to do what you're doing with it. I mean, it's supposed to be bolted under a Jeep, yes, not on the floor pans or wherever the fuck you have it, but it is literally the same exact thing in a tank that is more forgiving than the aluminum Motobuilt tank because it's made of plastic. And I don't know.
It's just stock fuel pump, and it doesn't fall out.
And you don't have to use shitty ass RTV. You can just buy a rubber gasket, which is a lot more reliable than the gas RTV that takes however long Luke bitches about it taking to set up. It's like a day or some bullshit. It used to be like a day where Luke can't wheel because he's got to wait for his gas resistant RTV to harden. It's always a fun one when he gives you that excuse when he doesn't want to hit the hard obstacles.
He's already doing the damage at that point. What the fuck's the deal? Why not?
He doesn't want it to burn to the ground. I don't blame him, but like, just shitty. You can just have a fucking rubber gasket in a plastic tank. And like Luke's Jeep is the perfect I don't know why he doesn't have the factory tank. I don't know why he went with the moto build. I'm sure he's kicking himself for it too. But yeah, so if I was gonna do a 4-link, I'd want to get a proper fuel cell, not a moto build, and I'd want to like get a proper fuel pump and do a proper, then there's wiring involved and all this other stuff, and that just rapidly into a lot of money, and fittings and hoses, PTFE hoses, so they don't just fucking disintegrate in 2 years like a typical fuel line hose that you buy, fuel pressure line hose, or what the fuck? Fuel injection hose, Jesus, that you buy at a parts store that lasts like 2 years, and then like the spot where you have the hose clamp rips because the hose is fucking soft like a buttered noodle. You're like, well, that's cool. That's what all my fuel's running through, and it's just chunking off probably into the fuel rails. So, yeah, like I don't know. It's that alone is like a ton on top of. Oh, now you have to do coilovers and a rear 4-link, because why would you not? Oh, you have to. That's the whole point. Duh. Oh my god.
No, you could do air shocks in reality.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't. And it just all adds up, and that's just the cost in money. It's not the time. Like, I'd rather take the time to just go and wheel and do my thing and deal with my leaf springs that aren't that shitty in comparison for no extra money. Unless I blow them up, and then it's like, oh no, you'd spend $300 with Clayton to buy a new pair, or a new single one, I think. And then I have the old ones, and if I hadn't thrown my other older one away that had a bad, every leaf but the main leaf was messed up, and I combined it with my current pack where every leaf except the main leaf is good, I would have had a whole new leaf spring for free.
Well, why? Yeah, that's true.
That's how that logic works. But I threw it away because I was an idiot. Because I was like, when am I gonna? I'm not gonna have one that's, excuse me, just a, where I'm just gonna need a main leaf. Like, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's not really
literally
helpful.
Blew up the fucking. I like bent it backwards or some bullshit. The next time we went to Roush or something. It's always Roush. Roush is the only place that really fucks my leaf springs. So,
I mean, it makes sense, right? It's probably the only place nowadays that has steep climbs that you
steep climbs with like undercuts that like grab your leaf spring hangers and then they just rip out, or not rip out, but it really bullies your leaf springs. I'll just say that. If you got a lot of weight, you keep like slamming into them. They don't like that.
Who would have thunk? But it's just in general, it's just a fuck ton of weight. Like, there's so much weight that is like put onto those leaf springs at that point at a not great angle that it's bound to do something. Like, the only thing that could save you at that point is a 4-link or a 3-link.
Yep. But I don't know. Maybe I like cut some weight out of the thing, like try to make it lighter. I don't know. I'm like,
where would you even start? Going on a diet? Like, what's your what? Like, where are you gonna take weight from it?
I don't know. That's what I'm just like. That brings me to my other thing: is if I was gonna do a 4-link, I'd want to cut a lot of the tube work out and redo a bunch of tube work because I'm not happy with it now. Like, at my current stage of, I don't want to say craftsmanship because I don't call anything I make, a great like work of art. But it's like, yeah, not like any great craft here, but I've gotten better and I have a better eye for what I want and what I think is acceptable than I did in the past. And the Jeeps, I've had that cage on that thing for how many years? When did I put that on?
That was 2018.
Oh boy, 7 years ago. So yeah. Was it late? I put that on in December.
It was winter time. Yeah, I think it was winter of 2018.
So it was probably more like almost, more than 7 years ago, but like not by much. Like 7 and almost half. Dang, yeah. So like I've come a long way. It was a good cage 7.5 years ago. It's an okay cage now. It does the thing. It takes rollovers, but like
It holds,
there's
man.
there's some things I'd like to change and do different. And I don't know. I have a bunch of body panels for it. I could just freshen up the body, but I don't know if I want to do that. Unless I have some other stuff going on. Like my front bumper is fucked. It's like half the welds are ripped out of it just because of pulling on it and just things. Colin is an excellent welder, excellent TIG welder. The MIG machine he was using did him dirty because all those welds look great, but they're cracking right where the welds are. And it's not his fault because honestly, had I done the welds, I would have also thought they were fine. And they're honestly okay in probably any application other than like a cage or this bumper because they are all ripping apart. And I haven't been nice to it, but it hasn't ripped completely off. But it's so crooked. It's so crooked. I think realistically, I would like to change that up and get a winch that is more reliable because I'm getting to a point where I would like to be able to use the winch and have it not be, a stress point for me, I guess, because right now, after having to deal with it for our last weekend at Field and Forest, it was working until it would just not work. And I can't put my finger on why exactly it was doing the things it was doing, but I do know it's a shitty old winch that probably just isn't meant for what I'm doing with it. I should probably have a bigger winch on it, or at least a newer winch. I think that's a 9,000. I could probably do a 10, and it would be beneficial. And if I need a new winch and I need a new bumper, I mean, I'm redoing a lot of front end shit. So, now we're looking at the complete other side of the Jeep. And this is, why I don't want to do anything to it. Because as soon as I have to touch something, I'm going to want to cut a lot of shit. And then I'm going to turn something that could be, a really basic weekend or two project into, now the Jeep's in a million pieces and Graham can't wheel for the next 6 months. Like, again, it's like, I don't want to do that. So it's a lot of self-restraint being portrayed, I think. Really, if I was smart, I'd like, well, if I had more than 600 square feet where I could work on something, I would say I should start building something else or build pieces to build something else and just keep the Jeep around. But I don't have any plans to build anything else. Like that's literally just like a hypothetical. Like that would be the smart move. Keep what I have and build something new. Just to like build something new so I could use that, even if it's like something basic, like not like a crazy rig.
Yeah, but
then make
I
the
don't
Jeep
think you're
back.
gonna build something basic. That's the issue.
Yeah,
is you're gonna get into something, then you're gonna be like, well, if this, then I might as well do this, and if I'm doing this, then I might as well do this.
Yeah,
it's just the nature.
No matter what I do, I'm gonna be in a fucking in a weird spot where I'm down a rabbit hole with the project. That's just how I like my projects. But yeah, I don't know. Speaking of square footage in the shop, I was talking with Adam, and we may. He was criticizing my choice of having the couch in the shop. He said that's gotta go. He says that.
I was like,
what do you mean?
You're not a business. What the fuck does he care?
He said that's gotta. I mean, just for like space for shit. It wasn't wrong.
No, hold on. Okay, but then hear me out.
I could put another bench there. I already have a seat. Like
no. Because your bench becomes storage. Put some fucking shelves there. If you're gonna do it, put some goddamn shelves there that actually
have tons of shelves.
And guess what? They're full. And look at your bench. It's full. You need storage. You do not need more fucking bench space for you to fucking put more shit on it.
I do.
So then do storage. If you're gonna do it, do storage.
But
But that's easy enough. You let me know, and I could get you another day pass, and we can go fucking throw it out. Yeah, just bring a check. That's the only thing.
West Springfield dump was very chill when I just had to go throw out my my mattress. They loved this truck because of course I had the J truck, and they were like, "Whoa!" Yeah. It's funny.
They do appreciate cool shit like that, which is nice. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, whichever works, man. That's either or is fine by me. Let me know, or we bring it to Marvell's and burn it. But I don't think he was keen on that last time.
No, he just didn't like mattresses. I don't know how he'd feel about a couch.
Oh, we're golden then, dude. But yeah, no, just let me know the day, and I can get you the pass, and we can get a price or whatever.
Yeah,
it's gonna be cheaper than West Springfield. I assure you that.
It wasn't that expensive to throw that out of West Springfield, but yeah, I mean, cheap is cheap. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to clean the. Just like
wait, who is he to say about your couch when he has a couch and a full podcast setup in his, and he doesn't even use? Who is he to say? That's what I'm curious about, Mr. Adam. What the heck?
Yeah. Well.
Oh, this would have been it. Dude, we fucked up. We should have done tonight's episode up there. We should have seen. We could have timed that perfectly.
Dang, we 100% could have.
Or we could talk with him about us doing one up there, and just doing like maybe this week. I don't know. Find time or something, because then we could do that as our in between episode.
Yeah, I mean, when is realistically? We don't know when.
They're coming back.
Luke or Richie are going to be back and ready, to do a podcast. Like on Tuesday, are they going to be fucking smoked?
Probably, bro. My brain would be smoked if I was doing that. Like, especially Richie. Old boy's probably going to want to at least take a breather day for sure.
Oh yeah, well Luke will be like sleeping in bed by 5:00. Poor Richie's going to be on a wild ride. I mean, no, he's in the car though. I'm just chilling, just driving.
That's true. I forget that he's gonna be driving a car, so it's kind of a lot less stressful.
Yeah, less stressful than a fucking shitbox truck with a Jeep on the back of it.
Yeah, and potentially a shitbox trailer, depending on the journey.
Depending on the. Oh god. I'm glad the one good thing I have is a nice trailer. I'm glad I have that trailer.
That is a plus. That's something.
Trailer's the newest thing I own.
Is it
20 years? By 22 years.
So my question is, hear me out on this. Is it worth me planning to get a trailer? I have the availability for that trailer anytime, right? But it's not mine. Like, that's the thing that keeps bugging me is I hate asking. I mean, shit, dude, you were doing this, you know this. Is like, yeah, the person who you're borrowing from probably won't give a shit, but it's not yours to just be able to just like fucking grab and go. And that's the thing that's bugging me is like, do I just fucking put money aside to get my own, or do I just kind of roll with this? Because at least it doesn't cost me money like your borrow trailer situation was going.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It depends on what you want to do. I mean, I know you're borrowing the enclosed, so it's that can be nice, but it can also suck. Like there are certain like perks to having a trail rig that you can just throw on an open trailer.
Yeah, it's simpler. Like it's not
simpler.
As annoying.
You don't have to like deal with shit. I mean, in your case, an enclosed would be cool because then, as far as neighbors complaining about like Jeeps on trailers or whatever, like I know you've had issues with like them being annoying about plates on it and other stuff.
No, that was the police. Those are different, or like the
well, either way, if it was in a trailer, it wouldn't matter. Like
that's
they wouldn't be able to fucking see it. It'd just be a trailer, it'd just be a closed trailer. So I mean, there's benefits to that. You can use it as storage. Like Sam was using his for storage. I know Josh, Greenleaf has his car and his trailer. Like an enclosed is definitely a good investment if you like have the space for it. I
do kind of have the space for it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I like the open just because it's simple. It's not they're not that expensive. Relatively. Like at some point an enclosed might be cool if I build like a real buggy or something that like would maybe require that I wouldn't want to get wet, but like my Jeep gets wet, I don't care. It's not the world. Like whatever.
was kind of my thought too.
And I have like the RV, and RV can do things, and that's cool. So, like, I don't know. It doesn't really feel like it needs. I don't really like need an enclosed to like do anything. It wouldn't like benefit me.
Yeah. Other than honestly, the only benefit I could see would be finding an RV that could tow for your sake. Like that's the only thing that I could see you trading up for. But like also that RV just the thing fucking works. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
listen. Well, the frame is in good condition. What if the frame rails were properly extended, like in a structural way?
I understand. You alluded to this, I think, last episode or 2 episodes ago. If it's doable, that would be really fucking cool. Because then that would make a lot of your headaches a lot simpler. The only issue is, bro, like you have a 6,000-pound fucking rig. Like,
yeah,
that's a lot of weight.
What if we just make it a tandem axle? Just put another fucking axle back there, and then put a fucking put a nice diesel in the.
First off, you can't back up a trailer as it is. Now you want to make it even harder?
Well, if I can't see it, it doesn't matter.
That's sure just never back up, right?
And we were talking about doing the whole we got to train everything in, so that something's got to.
That's better than the other options, I guess.
I don't know. I think that little RV is like the perfect size to like do what we're doing. And if I could put some work into it to make it so it could tow safely. And realistically, nobody's gonna we're not gonna pull you over. We're not gonna fuck with you in an RV. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, and people, want to yell at me, but this is all.
I don't know. They let retards drive those Class A fucking RVs, and those things are massive in comparison. So
yeah,
I mean,
I'm just saying, like from a towing safety perspective, I don't think you'd get fucked with. Like they're not gonna know if it's rated for that or not. You're really gonna check? Like I don't know. It would definitely still be. Well, I'd have to get the thing weighed. I wonder what it weighs by itself.
I mean, you could Google it, right? Like dry weight. I'm sure you could find a dry weight price. Or pardon me, price.
But if I did that, I would definitely want to change that engine. I'd want to change it to something different.
What? It has a 460. It'll be fine. That thing will tow that all day long.
You think so?
Yeah, fuck yeah. What? Absolutely.
I guess we'll try it. Yeah. We'll do this all and try it and then see how gutless it is.
I would say it's at least worth keeping just to try it. And if not, dude, throw a 12 valve with a fucking 4-speed or 5-speed. Sick. That'd be so sick. Imagine you pop the dog box and you're just fucking ripping that thing, dude.
Well, you'd need to move the shifter. Because the transmission would be back. Because you're almost sitting on the engine in that thing. Oh my! So you'd have to put the shifter forward. You'd have to have some crazy linkages to get that thing to do what you wanted it to do. But it'd be having a manual RV would be
so
sick. That would be so cool. The ultimate manual swap. I've done them all. I've done them in Jeeps. I've done them in trucks. I've done them in Jeep trucks. Now I need to do it to my RV.
Oh my god! Now, would you do like a 12 valve, or would you try to do something a little bit different, like going to like a 6.7, or like bumping up to like something that actually would hold the weight?
I mean, if I could find something like stupid that wasn't absurdly expensive, like maybe
a 7.3, maybe, but nah, it's kind of gutless.
Yeah, I don't know. A 7.3 would be like the period correct motor to maybe put in that thing, body style wise. But yeah. I'm not like attached or like I don't really have any desire to. I was watching Marvell work on that 7.3. I have no desire to work on one of those. They look like a nightmare. And they run like garbage when they're old, like when they're not freshened up. And to freshen up an engine like that is not cheap.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. All potential future fun.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool if I could get the RV to tow, because then I could.
Oh man.
Then I could have the truck for like the short stuff. We're just doing like day trips, or we got to go yank something, or like it's just me and the boys, and I don't want to bring the whole RV. Like, I guess if it was just me and the boys, we might want to bring the RV to just, have a fucking crash spot. But
it's also small enough that like if you got it just normal tow in the Jeep, like that you could tow with that thing fucking anywhere. Like it's not like it's some absurd length. Like it's probably this what? Maybe an extra 7 feet on your truck.
It's like 21, 22 feet or something like that.
Yeah, and your truck's 23? Probably 18. It's a fucking long ass truck. So
it's a little longer, but it's not the end of the world.
Just have to get some good old tow mirrors on that fucking thing. It'd be good.
Yeah, it does. It would need tow mirrors because the mirrors are kind of shitty.
Yeah,
they'd work for like what it's doing, but it needs something different. I don't know. Need some of those like West Coast mirrors. Those big old like tower things.
Yeah. Hey, it's doable though. It's definitely doable.
Yeah.
But I still feel like the 460 would be enough. I really do.
Put a cam in. It probably already has a cam. I don't think you can put a cam on a 460. I think they're just like they already make like all the power that they can get. I'm probably totally wrong. I'm sure Jacob's yelling at me if he listens, but yeah. I don't know. That's all the thoughts that are roaming around in my head right now. I have too many potential projects. I gotta just pick one. If I could make the RV tow, I would be much more inclined to do the interior in that. It's like it's fine as it is. It probably needs to be cleaned out. I'm sure there's like it's got junk everywhere in it right now because of where it's been sitting. But it'd be cool to like actually go through that thing and do like some newer equipment to make it run. Like the electrical is all fucking, it works. It's just a little wonky. And then, the plumbing, it'd be cool to have, that be, I don't know. I feel like the water tank in it is like a little smaller I want it to be like a little longer for a weekend trip to like be able to do what we're doing. We're always like out. We're like dead out of water by the time we're done with a weekend.
To be fair, when you go to like Field of Forest, you could just get a spot with a water hookup, and then
that's true. I didn't think
a lot of issues. It's just a matter of like, or just don't use it in that way, or like be really responsible about how often people are showering or using the bathroom, or like.
Well, that's not even showering. If you shower, I don't think you could shower in that thing without a water hookup. Tank's not big enough. No
really?
Way. Absolutely no way. It's tiny. That tank is underneath the couch. That's all it is.
No shit, really?
That's all it takes up. And it's not even that full space. It's like probably 3/4 of that space. So
then what is the water being used on? Just on the bathroom?
Yeah, just on the toilet, on the sink, on those things. Maybe Alexa's just like running the sink or something. I don't know, but like we're always like kind of low by the end, so
you gotta talk to her about water rationing, man. God damn.
I mean, that is definitely a possibility.
Is she taking like bird bath showers in the sink or something? Like genuinely, I'm being serious. Like I feel like that's I don't know.
It just isn't a ton of water, and if like people are using the bathroom and like doing stuff like long weekend.
But the toilet doesn't take much. It's like what? Fucking 12 ounces every single time somebody flushes the toilet. Like it's not all that much.
I don't know.
Unless somebody's taking some big dumps.
It's been a minute. you gotta wash the sides down a little bit.
It's just a messy one. Oh my god. But yeah, I don't know. You'll have to definitely look into it, see if there's
the heat. I want to check.
on
the heat.
Oh my god, we definitely need to check on the heat for sure.
Yeah. AC unit is on my list. Now that we have the generator, at some point I do want to like hook the generator up underneath, like in a spot, but I don't know if this generator will be good for that. I think this is a good generator in general.
Space for it?
Yeah, there's technically a space like where it could go. It's like on mine, it's a storage like thing, but you could put a generator there. I think that is the intended location for it.
The back section, or no? Is it somewhere else?
No, it's in the front on the driver's side.
Huh. I don't think I ever knew about that.
Right near the driver door, there's like this little spot that has like blocks of wood in it, and that's where the control panel for the generator would be. But I can just get a little baskety do and hook it on the back and put my generator in there. Yeah, that's fine for now. I can just live there.
Fuck it.
I had to take the one. I just got the new one after the other one was. All right, I've had the new one. I haven't opened it because I haven't had time. I literally bought it after Roush. I traded my other one and got this new one, and it's just been sitting since in the box, never opened. It's actually faded on one side because it's been in the shop for so long, and like sometimes I've got the door open.
Oh my God.
I have to move it to take the truck out though, so it will get moved. At that point, I'll probably put some gas in it and test her out.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm excited to see all the kind of prep and whatnot for that. Has she gotten any excitement in her to continue going with that, or not really? With like
What?
Well, you know how she wanted to do like the carpet and this and that, and then like
well, I think when we're actually going back out and using it, there will be more motivation to do it. I mean, I haven't had any motivation to like touch it or do anything because we're not using it. So I think it's one of those things that, you know, if you're using it and something you want to invest in, like in that way, then it makes sense. Otherwise, it's kind of like not going to put money into something that we don't use that much. So
I hear you. Well, fuck yeah, man. That's fun shit, and I really would love to see that thing tow in the Jeep. God, that'd be so sick.
Figure it out. We'll figure it out. Got to be some way to do it. I'm sure, you know, a couple conversations with Adam, a couple conversations with Marvell. I'm sure I can get an idea on like what. And looking at that thing, pull that thing out this, you know, soon here once the truck's done and everything's sorted, and I have a minute to like prep some of my off-roading shit. Take a look at that bad Larry and see what it would take to make it go all the way back and go from there.
Yeah, but dude, I just want to see it happen. I'm sure you probably could, but I guess like the overhang would be like the biggest question on if it's doable or what you'd have to upgrade for the spring system to make sure that it would be compatible. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure I don't know. It'd probably need airbags.
That's probably would. No, I mean, you could just do helper bags. It probably wouldn't be bad at all.
Yeah. That's a good point. But airbags are like, they're not that expensive, are they? I never looked into them.
No, they're not bad. They're not bad. Nothing too crazy, at least.
Like in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's that expensive.
Could be. I mean, it all depends, right? Like, depends if you want to go full airbag system. I'm sure those are really not cheap. But a helper bag,
yeah,
sure. It's got to be under
something to put the bump stop or whatever it has. And
sick.
Yeah,
do it.
Cool.
Hell yeah. Cool. Well, it seems like we're kind of slowing down. I know it was only an hour, but hey, the people got something, so hopefully they enjoyed the episode.
Yep. Hopefully they did. Otherwise, why are we here? We could have been at the meet and beat.
Yeah, so fuck you guys. You better have enjoyed it. No, but seriously, thank you guys very much for listening. We appreciate every single one of you. Feel free to go check us out on Instagram at Blue Collar Off Road. Feel free to come over if you want to get involved with the Discord. Feel free to DM us or one of us individually. We can send you over the link. It's always good chats and good fun with just people posting different shit and, you know, talking little tech questions and whatnot.
Somebody was talking about, like, what kind of absurd coffee was that? I was just looking at that earlier. It was like 1,100 milligrams of caffeine or some bullshit.
Yeah, it's like Death Wish or something. Fucking
it was insane. No, it was worse than that because he was like, I drink the Death Wish and it was like 750 milligrams. This is like more than that. I don't know. I was with you. I read your comment. It's like, yeah, like I'm like good after like one or two, and I'm like super jittery.
Yeah, this is called the Black Rifle Coffee Company Insomnia Classic Roast Ground Extreme Caffeine. 1,100 milligrams of caffeine per cup. Absolutely fucking insane. But yeah, feel free if you guys are interested in hopping in. Just let us know and we can get you sent over the invite. Feel free to go check out Joey Urban for any of your off-road needs, or go check out Built for the East. They can also help you out. And if you need recovery gear, go over to Crawler Off Road. Use BCOP10 at checkout. Get 10% off for any of your recovery stuff. And on that note, what you got, Graham? You got anything awe-inspiring and just like fucking beautiful and things to tell the world?
Think about the projects you want to start and make sure that before you start them, you know what you're getting into, and you don't end up working on them for longer than you want to, because then you're just not happy. And a project that's supposed to be fun, it should be fun. You don't want it to be boring or a grind, because then it just takes even longer. It's a vicious cycle.
Hell yeah. Well, on that note, have a wonderful night, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Boom. Good shit, man. That was fun.
Yeah, it was good. That was a good little one.
Absolutely. And I think if we had more topics too, we were pulling topics out of our butts.